Hey, Kathy, you made it.
Hey, Kathy, you made it.
Thanks for coming.
Hey, Kathy. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming.
Hello, Pamela. Oh, you're still in the woods. Hey, Connor, welcome. Amanda, welcome. As always, we're just getting set up here, guys. Hey, Dutchy, welcome. Thanks for coming. I believe didn't we just used one of Dutchy's photos in a recent video, didn't we? I could say that about Kathy too, but we pretty much use one of her photos in every video, it seems. Well, I am honored that you guys decided to join us on location. That's pretty cool. There, look at that shot. All right. Hello, Kirsten. Welcome. And Kathy, you said you're out there changing out memory cards in your cameras tonight. Are you filming as well? Yeah, I ran across this picture today. I tend to think that this has to be a movie, but I don't know what movie it is. Yeah, Connor, it looks a little too good. It's like showing this Bigfoot's perspective of these campers. I don't know, should we go ahead and talk about the elephant in the room? And we'll put this picture on display. The infamous Skunk Ape. in some Central Florida forest. Someone asked me in the comments, they're like, where do you see a baby? And not to be rude, but I'm like, how do you not see a baby? Like, you see this baby right here? This big round-headed baby? There's a little baby arm right there. Possibly a little baby arm right there. This whole mass that you see right here is torso. It's like hugging this mother, or we're assuming female creature, but yeah, there's absolute ton of controversy over this picture. Everyone's calling it a chimp. You know, I mean, we've all seen chimps, right? Does it look like a chimp to anybody? I don't know. Coloration's all wrong. If it is some sort of chimpanzee, I've never seen anything like it. I've also never seen nor heard of a chimpanzee in Central Florida. I promised you guys last week that I would dig this picture up, and I remembered to do that. This is my photo of a footprint. And I had no way of casting this print, and frankly it was pretty shallow, so I don't know if it would have casted anyway, but I did have a water bottle for scale. Well, scaling by the water bottle, I believe it was about 16 inches. And this was taken, this was right off of Highway 44 in Central Florida. I think the picture, much like a lot of these pictures, it's not given justice on this platform, but yeah, I almost stepped right in it. Like we were just, we were just nature walking, you know. And I just happened to look down, and I was like, I literally just didn't put my right foot down. And I was like, whoa. And look down and see this massive print. This is of course, I think we did this one in the last video. This is Kathy's original picture, but somebody, I'm not gonna try to pronounce that gentleman's name. As a matter of fact, I incorrectly referred to him as a female during the last video, so apologies for that. But he spotted this guy, and I remember when this picture first came out, we were talking about it. We did say that we thought we saw possibly 3 or 4 other creatures in this photo, although I don't think this was one of them. And I'm not saying it definitely is, but I think it's a possibility. I mean, welcome, Tina. So if you look right there, you're gonna see eye socket, you're gonna see nose, mouth, fur line here that goes up here, and then of course the cone-shaped head right there. I mean, it kind of checks all the boxes, you know. And why not? I mean, why wouldn't, you know, why wouldn't this guy over here have a partner with him, you know? They have slightly different coloration, and it kind of looks like this one over here is a little more gray. I don't know, maybe it's older. I'm not really sure how that works. No, I don't think it's a chimp either, but I don't know. I think everybody pretty well ran that argument into the ground last week about whether it was a chimpanzee or not. I got off of it because I was like, you know, this is not going anywhere. I don't think this one's going to be really hard to appreciate on this format, but I'm going to go ahead and show it anyway. This is Mike Aguilar, and I'm going to be showcasing him in our next video, but he's catching this guy sort of peeking from behind this little tree structure here. I don't think this is, when I say tree structure, I don't think it was actually created, but it just happens to be the way a tree is fallen. But he's got this sort of body mass that leads up to this perfect cone-shaped head here. And again, you can see where the hair separates from the face right there. You know, it's just kind of textbook. And thanks to Mike for letting us use his picture. Did you guys see this one last week? This was on the on our last video, and when I first saw this picture, this was completely blurred. Like, it really looked like some sort of creature, you know? And as I fixed the picture and I took the blur off of it, I realized that it's a dog's butt. It's a bulldog, and he's trying to climb up this little embankment. So I was looking at this picture last week, and you know, it's interesting enough, but I mean, there's just a lot of things about this that screams to me that it has to be digital art, right? I mean, I just don't. I'm not saying that it couldn't possibly be a trail cam, but I don't know what it is about it. I mean, the trees look good and everything else. It's just something about the creature itself. It just reminds me of digital art. Any word from Rick, Kathy? I was hoping he was going to join us tonight. I wanted to talk about, I mean, we're still going to talk about it, but I was hoping he would be here to talk about the thing that he found, what was that, 3-4 days ago. I'm going to go ahead and bring it up. So, for anyone that doesn't know, this is Les Stroud, Survivor Man. Survivor Man's been one of my favorite shows for years. He did a whole series on Bigfoot. You know, he was with Todd Standing, and he was with Scott Carpenter, and different things. Did a whole series. So I don't know the episode on I know this is the Romania episode. I don't know the number of the episode. Yeah, Mike is great. Mike's awesome. I was looking at Mike's stuff, like, I think before I even had a channel, and he's got some pretty cool stuff out there. Anyway, I'm going to switch to a zoomed in version on this so you guys can get a real look at it. But what is that? Yeah, appreciate the circle. Always, all right. Hey, Lynn, welcome, buddy. Thanks for stopping by. So, I mean, you know, as much as I like Les, I don't know him to be a prankster, really. But I don't know what's going on here. I mean, I would say it's certainly not outside the realm of possibility, but, you know, it's in Romania. I mean, we hear about Yetis and stuff in Russia, but I mean, any Romania reports? I don't know. The only thing that gives me pause here, can you guys follow the cursor? see that like really straight line right across the forehead? And then there's a little bit of a skin line above that before it reaches the hair. And the hair is also like almost perfectly straight. And I mean, as we've said before, there really aren't any straight lines in nature. I don't know what that is. It's obviously a creature or someone that's supposed to be a creature. I can't imagine what Les would have gained by sort of staging this, you know, by propping. I don't get it. I don't know what the hell's going on here. I wish I knew. I wish I tried to find some sort of press release about it, but Les has never mentioned it or anything, so I really don't know what it is. That's interesting, Lynn. You know, Les has always been one of the guys that I felt that you could trust. You know, is like when it comes to his surviving and his show and stuff like that. Like he seems like a straight up guy, and I've always been a fan. But this, I don't know. This at first when I saw it, I was like, whoa, you know, like everybody else. But now, as I look at it closer, it just kind of gives me pause. And I'm like, what is that? I don't know what's going on there. But that's weird for me. I'm not sure where that picture comes from, actually. This picture here is weird, too. James Willows is the copyright. So it claims copyright. He did put the copyright directly over the face. And I get why, so it can't be cropped out, you know. But it also obscures our vision of the face of the creature. But I mean, it is interesting enough, right? It's like you got like a tree here, so it's sort of peeking out from behind this tree. It's definitely got this 1980s hairdo going on here. I'm not sure what it looks. The hair looks long, right? That's weird, but it's interesting enough. I mean, it's obviously just a really good mask or completely legit, and I'm not really sure which. I think when we talked about it last time, I said that I wanted to see if I could get a hold of the guy, James Willows, and see if I could get a statement from him. So far, that has not happened. Yeah, he does. He's got a nice hairdo, Lynn. Yeah. You know, I don't know, like Sasquatch, they probably do some sort of grooming, right? I mean, we've seen that. Remember that one picture we saw, gosh, a long time ago, of the Sasquatch that had like a braid thing in its hair? It wasn't a real braid, but it was like they had kind of braided the hair and then used like maybe, I think it was like a gum wrapper or something, like something metallic to sort of hold the hair, or it was at the end of the hair braid. You know, I think they have fashion just like, you know, like anything else. You see it all the time, like those birds that like run around stupid collecting everything to like build up their nests, you know, to make it more appealing for a mate, you know. Yeah, we've seen the Sasquatch with a ponytail. We've seen hair braids. We've even seen loosely based evidence that they braid the hair of horses. So I don't know if you guys ever got into that conversation or not, but there is a conversation about something called fairy braids. And, I believe I might even have a picture somewhere in the midst of all this. The claim was that these people that owned horses would come out like in the morning and they would find these little braids in their horse's hair, their horse's mane, rather. This is the thing about having access to all these cool pictures in this machine now. I can't recall any of them when I want to. There's so many. Well, I know it's here, but I'm not going to waste my time scrolling for it. But anyway, yeah. So we do have, like I said, loosely based evidence, mainly word of mouth, that, and I'll tell you what, the people that are reporting it are not even reporting it as Sasquatch activity because they have no clue what it is. That's why they call them fairy braids. They think that fairies show up in the middle of the night and braid their horse's hair, as opposed to a more logical scenario where Sasquatch has a relationship with the horse, just like humans do, and they put a little braid in their hair, which I would imagine to them is a sign of affection, like grooming. That's annoying. I know I have that picture, but I don't find it anyway. Somewhere around there. Lynn, I promise you that is probably about a third of the amount of pictures that I have. If I were to combine like my laptop and this tablet and my Chromebook and my phone and everything, I probably have in the area of 2,000 pictures saved of various creatures. If anybody caught the last video, I think you probably caught my opinion on this one. As much as I would like to be like, wow, it's cool, that's real, I think we can all agree that this is not typical Sasquatch behavior. Just like strolling up to a tree cam or a trail cam posted on a tree and just sticking their face in it like that. That's absolutely not. It's opposite of behavior. We have seen, like, you remember the video of the hand kind of dancing and bobbing through the infrared lights. I remember that one, but this is the next level. And I had pointed out in the last video, look at this. See this here? See the center mass in the eyeball? And then this little bit of black over here. This is not, where's the tree? where, because you can see the sky here, all the way here and here. So where's the tree that this camera is strapped to? So more likely what we're talking about is this black mass right here is a cameraman, a guy taking the photo. And this over here, that's his buddy. So yeah, sorry, but you hoaxers are gonna have to do better than that. Someone was saying, I didn't say this, whoever these guys are, they were saying that most of their stuff is questionable. We'll be nice. Just say questionable. This picture right here, I think will perplex me for as long as I'm here doing this. I just don't know what the hell is going on in this picture. And I said, like, maybe it's some like small scene from Exists or something like that, although it doesn't really appear that way to me. But I'm trying to use logic to figure out what this is. Like, obviously we have a huge Sasquatch type creature here. I mean, you know, he's a big guy. He even hunched over. I mean, this thing is like at least like 9 foot tall. But, and he appears to be like attacking this little guy here. And we can see the guy's head right there. You can see his hair and his face. But then the rest of his body is translucent. And I guess that could be because of motion. Like his head's staying still because it's being squozed by a Sasquatch. And the rest of his body is like, you know, trying to get the hell out of there. But that doesn't answer the big questions for me. Like, this is not the question. The questions are, who the hell took this picture? Are either of these people okay? Did they survive? Because, I mean, if this is a real Sasquatch and he has taken issue with you enough to attack you, I'm just guessing that you're not all right. You know, like, you're probably no longer with us. You think he's falling, Connor? Is that what we're saying? I mean, that's pretty much where I'm at too. I'm like, yeah, he's in motion. Yeah, Lynn, agreed. That would be a 411. You know, people disappear all the time, and I personally think that the Sasquatch is responsible for a lot of those disappearances. So, and I don't know, if you've been around the channel long enough, you know that. That's my personal opinion on the subject. Is that and not all Sasquatch, just like bears, you know, they're different. But your Yetis, your Sierra Nevada Bigfoot, I'll tell you what, any Bigfoot that's in an area that doesn't have an adequate food source, you then become a food source. It's the same thing with polar bears. I mean, if you ever see a polar bear, If you could see it, run. Just get as far away as you can. Don't hang around and take a picture. Just get the hell out of there, because you're meat. That's all there is to it. That's all you are, is meat. And I think the same can be said with any sort of Sasquatch creature in an area that does not have adequate food sources. You then become part of the food chain. And believe me, that's not a chain you want to be a part of. Like, you want to be on the top of that chain, but when this guy's around, you're not. You're not on the top anymore. Well, that's another thing, Lynn. I mean, we've heard the stories about people being kidnapped. Maybe they're not necessarily interested in eating you. Maybe they just like you for whatever reason. They decide you're going to come back, with them. That one guy, it was I want to say it was early 1900s, maybe late 1800s. He claims that he got kidnapped by a large male Bigfoot, taken back to the Bigfoot's family. So it was like a male and a female, and I don't know, a couple young ones. And he was sort of like held hostage there for whatever reason. They never really did anything to him, but he ended up giving the male like his tobacco pouch. And when the male put the tobacco in his mouth, I guess the male had a pretty adverse reaction to it and kind of freaked out. And the guy took that moment to run. And I guess he got far enough away to get away, Hey, Mr. Midwest, welcome back, bud. If anybody's wondering about this picture here, I cannot give you an answer on who took this picture. I've had this picture for years. Well, Mr. Midwest, you're here, and that's all that's all that matters. That's all that's important. And YouTube, well, I have a love-hate relationship with YouTube. It very rarely cooperates with me. So, that doesn't shock me at all. If you don't use it. That's really all there is to it. You're like, oh, I don't have any problem with YouTube. That's because you don't ever use it for any particular reason or need it to do things for you. So, Connor, I question all the time whether that story's true or not, but I don't know. That's a weird thing to lie about, I mean, people lie all the time, but that is a strange story to make up, I think it's Yahoo Tube, Lynn. Yeah, well, the short of it is basically just that the guy, it was back in the day, the guy got kidnapped by a large male Bigfoot and taken to the Bigfoot's family, and he gave the Bigfoot, the tall male, he gave him his thing of chewing tobacco, I guess, and the creature put it in his mouth and had an adverse reaction, and the guy took the opportunity to run. And that to me is like, why would you kidnap somebody and just hold them there hostage. And I'm guessing that he was gonna be a food source later. Like they were just, you know, they're opportunistic, so it's like he was like, all right, later on we'll eat this guy. But you know, I don't think that you stand a chance in hell of running from a Bigfoot. Like obviously you're gonna run. That's your instinct. It's just to run. You're not gonna outrun a Bigfoot. So that if they wanted you, like I think they would have you, even if you got a good head start. I don't think you're getting away. Well, if he's not a food source, what? Well, see, that was my point, is that I thought maybe his story was bullshit. But if he's not a food source, then what are they? What's he there for? Like, what are they doing? Are they just bored? They're just like, let's just screw with this guy. We're just gonna kidnap him and sit him here next to this tree and let the kids kick him around a while. You know, like, I mean, he didn't report any violence or anything like that. He just said that Bigfoot scooped him up, threw him on his shoulder, took him to the camp, whatever, threw him down, and wouldn't let him leave. I mean, maybe, yeah, maybe they're just like, yeah, like, let's take a look at this guy, you know, like, maybe they've never seen a human before, I don't know. It's true. It's a valid point. I mean, you find a little creature in the woods, you take it home, try to feed it some shit that it doesn't eat, you know, and then you know, like you get bored with it, you let it go. Let's see. We must have something interesting to look at here. This is an interesting enough picture. I don't know what it is exactly, but it's something. This lady claimed it was a Sasquatch that hung around behind her house, if I remember correctly. God, I've had that picture for so many years. I have almost forgotten what it was about. This is oh man, I can't forget his name. James Whitfield caught this guy sort of peeking at him through the bush. Kathy, if you're still around, this is one of your guys. I think James is a good friend of Kathy from Bigfoot World. Yeah, so you got to be careful, because, like, you know, your eyes will play tricks on you. You know, it's like, because you can see a face up here. You could probably see a face here. Maybe one down here, here, and that's Peridolia. You know, so you have to be careful and differentiate what is Peridolia and what is real. And it's not an easy task. But I'm going to tell you, this guy here, you can see the outline of his shoulders. He's a big boy. Okay, there's the other outline right there. And then he's got the big cone-shaped head right there. And you can even see right here where his skin differentiates from the hairline right there. And then of course simple eyes, nose, mouth, cheekbones, chin. So that's where you gotta, like, you know, heck no, what, Pam? That's where you have to be careful. So this guy he checks all the boxes as, you know, being a real creature, whereas this up here is just leaves, you know, and different things that our brains will try to turn into faces. Welcome, Diaspora Revolter. Unfortunately, I don't speak your language. Pam, what are you heck knowing about? I am still here, guys. Just got to go on a quick beer run. Well, I have enough beer for everybody, but you know, you guys are gonna have to come get it. And yeah, I like beer too. If you ever don't want to talk about paranormal or Bigfoot, just start a conversation about craft beer. I'll jump right into that. Well, yeah. Hey, Connor, come and grab it, bro. You know, yeah, Mr. Midwest. That's kind of what I was saying. I was like, you know, you can pick out probably 6 faces in this thing that are Peridolia. You know, one here, one there, one there, one there, one there, one there. I mean, they're all over. The thing that differentiates this guy from Peridolia is that he's got the rest of the body to go with him. I mean, massive shoulders and the body line there, and then the big cone-shaped head right here. And like I said, he actually has this hairline differential right here. I mean, he's the real deal. The rest of these faces are just Peridolia. Be careful, Mr. Midwest. You make offers like that. Don't get mad when people show up. Would you say last time you were from Illinois or something like that? Never been there. Like, I don't know. I saw this map one time, what people think states are. And like in my mind, Illinois is like 95% Chicago. And then like the rest of it is just like, trees and stuff. Indiana, okay. I was wrong. I knew it was one of those I states. Pamela, are we talking about like big upright walking lizard, or because I mean there's lizards out there for sure. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no way. I don't think there's a lot of things I could outrun, let alone a skunk ape. No way. It's funny you say that, Connor. I was watching this thing the other day that was talking about how greatly humans are separated from other primates mentally, and they were attributing that to the use of psychedelic mushrooms. Because you think about it, I mean, somebody had to pick one of those mushrooms up off the ground one time and eat it and go, whoa, Like they had no idea what was going to happen. But the amount of DMT in the mushrooms basically expanded their brains. And I'm talking about, this is over the course of like 3 billion years, it was a long time, but but they say that is what differentiates humans from other primates, is our long-term use of psychedelic mushrooms. I don't know, Mr. Midwest. I'm not a big city guy. Like I usually stay away from them. I know that they have their charms, I guess, but like if I was, the only way I would ever go to like Vegas is if I had the money to have like a limo, take me around. I'm not that person, man. I don't like big cities. Me and my girl tried to go to Philadelphia while we were in Pennsylvania, and I missed something the GPS said, and I ended up in a turning lane, which put me on this bridge that took us to New Jersey. And there was no way to get back. Like our destination went from 3 minutes to 3 hours, like that, and we were stuck. And I was like, you know what? This is typical. I was like, this is why I didn't get a Philly cheesesteak, because Yeah. So I hate big cities, man. I stay away from them. Yeah, I get that. I get that. I live in the city now, but I mean, this is not a metropolitan area, you know, as far as I know. I don't think we are. But we're getting more and more crowded by the day. So, Pamela, I mean, if James ever wants to, like, I don't know if he took pictures of these prints. I mean, I'd love to see them. What do I think about it? I don't know. I mean, I think there's just a lot of stuff that we don't know, you know, that we just don't know whether it's out there or whether it isn't. I mean, there's so much untouched wilderness, you know. You guys, like, I'm not a big fan of the dogman theory, but even that is plausible. I mean, it's just there's so much out there that we don't know. So I try not to write anything off as being no, you know. So yeah, there's always that maybe, you know. Yeah, I get that, Mr. Midwest. You know, like, I'm here in Central Florida, and I mean, it's just our little small town that we used to have is no longer a small town. There's a lot of people from a lot of different places, and they don't really know how to act in a small town. You know, they come from wherever they come from. I don't know. And they act here like they acted there, you know, and unfortunately, I'm getting claustrophobic, and I'm just, I'm ready to get the hell out of here. I don't really know where to go, but I'm ready to go, you know, so. I didn't even talk about this picture. I don't know. I find it silly. I'm not really sure what the hell's going on. I don't know what's up with this creature's face. I don't know if it's supposed to look real. It just looks ridiculous to me. I don't know why these deer are here. tolerating this guy in a suit, but he's got a pretty nice mustache right there. That's nice. Well coiffed hair. I don't know what this is from. It doesn't even look like it's trying to be real or realistic, so I really don't know. Why is that, Mr. Midwest? Oh, yeah. You know, that's a distinct possibility. I mean, you could Photoshop those deer in, or they could be some sort of taxidermy. I just don't understand the purpose of this picture. I mean, obviously, if this is a movie, they're spending quite a bit of money on it, right? I don't think it's a hoax picture, but this right here, this ruins it for me. This baby, unfortunately, you can't see too many details, but this baby looks so fake. So fake. So whatever they're trying to accomplish, they're failing. I don't know if you guys ever saw this one. This is the guy who tried to claim he was Patty. Bob something, I can't remember his name. He tried to imitate the stride and everything and tried to say that this was the Patty suit. Yeah, hell, I mean, I could walk away and look over my shoulder too. I mean, if you have a neck, you can accomplish that. I think about I mean, I obviously haven't been around as long as the Patterson-Gimlin film, but as long as I've been in this game, I mean, it seems like every couple years, somebody has what it takes to prove the Patterson-Gimlin film is fake. Somebody has some new something that they've found that proves it's fake. I don't know if you guys remember, it was just about maybe 6 months ago or so, somebody found a third guy in the Patterson-Gimlin film when they claimed that there was only 2 of them. So they were saying that that was the guy that was in the suit. That third guy turned out to be Bob Gimlin. There was no third person. He randomly showed up in a picture or a small set of film that, for whatever reason, I guess they assumed Gimlin was on camera, which he was, but he was just off camera, off his horse for a second in one of the, you could see him just barely in one of the frames, and you know, it was him. But the original Patterson-Gimlin film is like 7-8 minutes long. The clip that we always see is 34 seconds. It's just a Patty, but yeah, exactly, Connor. Yeah, he claimed he made the suit. I remember all that, but you know, and I agree that you know, Patterson had some things about him that weren't trustworthy. You know, he was kind of a showman. He was kind of a bullshitter, honestly. Plus, he had written an article in a magazine that had like. I guess the main story was about a female Sasquatch. And then he drew Patty, a very poor drawing, by the way, but he drew Patty a year before they spotted her. He drew a female Bigfoot, basically, you know, but it was really poorly drawn. But anyway. But you know what's the big controversy about that, the Patterson-Gimlin film? If you watch the whole thing, there's a conspiracy theory that exists that there's these big sort of brown black piles in the film that everyone has assumed for years were logs because they were clearing that area. But one of the theories that exists is that those piles were actually bodies of other Sasquatches, and that Patty had dropped her baby off and was trying to lead them away by walking the way that she was out in the open like that. Now, I don't know, you know, I'm not saying all that's true, obviously, but it's an interesting theory, you know. I'll make you a deal, Mr. Midwest. If you shoot me an email at bigfootinput@gmail.com, I will go through my files. I'll find the drawing and I'll find the things that I'm talking about, and I'll shoot them over to you. I don't have them accessible right on me right now. I'm just having, you know, conversation, but I do know where to access them. So if you give me a way to contact you, I'll send those over to you. You know, and one of the things that support the Bigfoot body theory is that before they ever spotted Patty, the Wildlife Foundation and the local authorities had gotten reports of a tribe of angry, hairy people that were sort of giving, you know, being aggressive towards the logger people. And, you know, these guys are out there tearing down their home, and they were having trouble doing their job, you know, because these Sasquatches were basically opposing them. So the thought was that they had sent, you know, I don't know, somebody in there to dispatch of them. so they could continue working. Really? That's you know, you're right. He was a prospector. I remember that part now. Yeah, I was, I was gonna say miner, but that didn't make sense to me. I was like, no, but that's right. Yeah, he was a prospector. No self-respecting prospector would go out without his tobacco pouch. Damn it, where's Ryan when you need him? Monster Radio. This picture, this is the Beast of Seven Shoots. Pretty sure I'm saying that right. And Seven Shoots, God, where is it? It's, yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna, well, I want to say Oregon. I don't want to say that though, but anyway, I'm not sure. But anyway, so basically you can see the hair lighten up here for whatever reason, a little lighter around the face, got sort of an elongated nose, mouth type thing here, shoulders, etc., etc. You might consider this to be a Gugway instead of a Sasquatch. Gugway is a little more, they have more ape-like features. And then, of course, it seems to be holding some type of other creature here. The interesting thing about this picture is that before it was taken, some lady had reported her white dog going missing. It doesn't look like a dog to me, but I guess it could be. A lot of people say this is just a rock. It's a stone. So I don't know. There's a lot of debate surrounding this picture. Albert Osmond, is that the guy? That's the guy that was kidnapped, right? I keep saying kidnapped. I mean, he's abducted, I guess. No, I mean, I don't think it would be easy either, man. But I mean, you know, humans are humans. I mean, we get things done, and in a brutal fashion sometimes. You know, they go out there with enough firepower, even if it took weeks, just to go out there and continue doing their job and then killing anything that opposes them. Unfortunately, I think it definitely could be done with enough rifles, you know. Yeah, that name rings a bell now that you say it. Albert Osmond. Osmond. I'm gonna move on to a different picture. Oh yeah, this one. I'm not gonna zoom in on this one. Wow. Sorry, guys. I want you to make the comparison between the height of this roof and the body of this supposed creature. Skinwalkers are such a broad subject. And I'm going to tell you, Connor, talk to Ryan from Monster Radio. If you ever want to talk about skinwalkers, like you have a real conversation about skinwalkers, that guy, he's got it. My personal opinion, well, skinwalkers are probably my worst subject. But I understand that they are casted out shaman from Native American lore. And when I say they're casted out shaman, I mean that they're in the spiritual world. They're not physical. So they manifest as physical, but they can take many shapes and many forms. So that's why you hear skinwalker whenever like, you see anything that doesn't make sense. Oh, it's a skinwalker, it's a skinwalker. Because they can take tons of different shapes and forms and stuff like that. So I got to chalk that one up to lore. To me, there's not a lot of legitimacy there. You could, I don't know. I just, not that it's not real. I mean, I just think that you could put that in the category with leprechauns or Santa Claus if you want to. You know, I mean, it's just lore. I don't have any personal evidence to think otherwise, you know. Yeah, so this picture here, I think it has to be a bush, right? It's like a tree. This creature is behind this shed, like it's further back. So it would appear shorter than taller. So I mean, if the height of this shed, I think I estimated it at like 13 feet. You know, calculate in that he's, I don't know, 20, 30 feet behind the shed. 13, 14, 15. I mean, he's 15, 17 feet tall. It's a tree. There's no way that this is a creature. I mean, it has an unfortunate shape. It looks like a possible creature. But, yeah, I think it's just a tree with some foliage. Different things happening down here at the bottom. I mean, if there's a 20-foot Bigfoot, yeah, on my property, unless he's really friendly, I mean, I'm moving, you know. I don't buy this picture. It did say on the bottom here, I don't think you can see it on the screen. It says original on the bottom. I have zero context for this picture. Like, this is one of the things that I talk about, and that we recently had a big situation about, is that I don't always get context with these pictures. I don't know who took them. I don't know where they come from. I don't know the originator. I just get them. And, you know, here we are. We're looking at them. And we're making our speculations about it. But yeah, unfortunately, I don't have a context for it, you know. Beings, Connor, beings. And all right, man. Cool, no problem. Yeah, that'll be a reminder to me to send those over to you. So, but you know what? Just humor me for a second, okay? This creature, I guess I have a better view of this picture than you guys, but this tree is set in front of this creature. Like, here's this post, here's the snow, next is this tree. So follow this tree, snow, over here. We get to the side of this shed, right? This creature is back over here. He's, I don't know, he's probably, I'm guessing 25 feet away from this shed, behind it. Like, the shed's in the forefront. Someone was telling me, no, the creature's in the forefront. I don't even know how you see that. I don't know where that, you should check your depth perception. I mean, that shed is first, then the creature, then this. I keep it's not a creature. You guys have me calling it a creature. It's not a creature. It's a tree. But like I said, it does have an unfortunate shape. There's a little bit of a sort of a discoloration here that sort of makes this look like a hand. And then there's another one here. I think this is a post. And there's a post there and a post there. And I think another post over there, and maybe over here too, that makes it look like there's legs, but when in fact this is just one of those sort of, God, I wish I knew what kind of tree, but it almost looks like a pine tree of some kind. You know, it's kind of rounded out, misshapen. You know, it's not like manicured. It's a tree. If you guys enjoy the music, this is non-copyrighted music on a YouTube channel called The Relaxed Movement. I like it. It gives something to vibe to. Welcome, Matt. As long as you're putting an effort, that's all that matters. I do not, Mr. Midwest. You might talk to Kathy about that. I have a like a off-brand GoPro, you know, and other than that, I just have my phone camera, frankly. So I don't really have, well, I have a drone too, but I don't really have a lot of video equipment, so I'm not an expert on it, to be honest with you. Easy there, cowboy. There we go. You've never had a cell phone, Lynn? Yeah, I feel, Mr. Midwest, if I was like, it's really not a bad point at all, because you're right. I mean, your phone could just freak out for whatever reason, but I mean, why not just a little, 12 megapixel digital camera, with a memory card, It seems like it would be just good as anything. You know, Lynn, there's a part of me that envies you. I mean, I grew up in the 80s, so I remember when you had to be rich to have a phone in your car. And then in the 90s, like, cell phones were, again, top-notch technology. Like, not everybody had a cell phone. And even in the mid-90s, we had pagers, we didn't have cell phones. So, like, you had to go home and make a phone call, or go to a payphone. Good luck finding one of those. This picture, by the way, if I can get a hold of this guy, I'm gonna confirm with him that I can use it on the channel. But anyway, Jeff Yellick, I believe his name is, and this is the full picture. Like, he basically just took this picture and then found this guy in the bush here, staring back at him. It's haunting. I mean, it's terribly realistic. I wish I knew a little more about the picture. I mean, it almost looks so human that I would say it's almost like more like a tribesman or something, like, rather than a Bigfoot. But because there's not a lot of like cranial ridge going on, the eyes aren't set back too far. I don't know. It looks more human than anything else, but I have no context on the story other than this guy said, I took this picture, here it is, so. Right, it sneaks at 100. That's right. Yeah, he had a decommissioned cell phone, huh? No, or a car phone. I don't remember ever seeing a car that had a car phone, other than in like TV shows like Miami Vice, but I don't think I ever actually saw one. Yeah, it is. It's a great picture. I just don't. I don't know. I can't settle on it being a Sasquatch. I mean, I've seen a million Sasquatch photos. It just looks like a human face to me. Even his hair. You see his hair falls down in his face like that? That's not indicative of Sasquatches. Usually their hair is really short. Usually. But then again, I've seen them with longer hair, so I don't know. Just doesn't feel like it to me. Yeah, well, feral humans are always a possibility. I mean, I wish I knew the region that this was taken in. That would answer a lot of questions for me. Like if I could find this, I know who the guy is. I mean, I could probably go and find him, but he turned off commenting on the picture itself. That kind of put a damper on the whole thing. But if I could find out the region that it was in, that could answer a lot of those questions. Hey, welcome home, Kathy. Finally got out of the woods, huh? I had a Ford Taurus too. I had the Ford Taurus SHO. Remember that? Like the one with the moonroof? I think it was old, but it hauled ass. Mr. Midwest, you came in a little late tonight. I'm gonna roll back on a couple of the things that we were looking at before you got here. So this is Survivor Man Les Stroud, and this was his Romania episode. One of our friends, Rick McKenzie, found this creature here in a frame. I don't have the frame, but let's take a closer look at it. You think so? I think that's a monkey, huh? I would disagree. I don't think it's a monkey. And as much as I'd like to think, wow, it's a Sasquatch, I don't think it is either. This right here, I know a lot of people heard me talking about it earlier, but maybe not everyone. This gives me pause. This perfectly straight line across the forehead right here. I don't know what that is. I don't know why that's there. It doesn't make sense. And I love the idea. I love the romanticism of Les Stroud was just filming in Romania and caught a Sasquatch on film, even though we don't ever hear about Sasquatches from Romania. But whatever that is, that ruins it for me. Yeah, I'm a big Les Stroud fan. Like, I love Survivor Man. I've loved that show for years. And then he did the Bigfoot series, and that was like, and that was icing on the cake, man. I was like, holy shit, it was awesome. But anyway, this is from the Romania episode. If you're interested and you want to go look at it yourself. Unfortunately, I don't have the episode number on me, but as I say, it was Romania. So I'm sure you're Smart people, you can go figure that out on your own. Let's take another look at this picture because it's worth looking at again. I think it is the most controversial picture on the interwebs right now. The problem with that theory about it being a monkey is that this is a big monkey, and there are no big monkeys in Central Florida. Although this picture was taken in Central Florida. I did a little breakdown, a little analysis about this on the video. This is a hog. I believe it's a hog baiting station because you can see the thing up here. I don't know what this is. It's like a little, I'm guessing this is where you put the food and stuff like that. Anyway, so the rope right here goes up above it and then comes down on this thing. So this right here is a gear that controls that rope. So look at, let's do a little math here. So say you're standing right here on the ground, okay? You're standing here. Let's just say knees, waist, chest, head. You're up here using this gear. Your head's about here. If you're, I don't know, you're 6 foot tall. That's where I'm gonna put this right here. I'm gonna say we're about 6 foot tall right here. This creature is obviously squatted down. But even being squatted, head's right there. Bring it over here. The creature is 4 foot tall in the squatted position. Now, how tall do you think it's going to be when it stands up? I mean, it's going to be 6, 7 foot tall. So, I mean, what chimpanzee do we know of that's that tall? Aside from those, God, what do they call those? Oh, the name, it just fell right out of my head. They're very, very large chimps. They call them billy apes in Australia. But anyway, but this is not something that's indicative in Central Florida. This was taken in Central Florida. And of course, this creature has the baby right here. So whatever this is has young, and it should be interesting if it procreates, and continues to. Go ahead, Mr. Midwest. We're listening. Yeah, Connor, I mean, I think this is probably one of the only, I mean, there's maybe a handful of rake pictures out there in the world, and this is one of them. And I sincerely believe that the rake is a feral human, aka mole man, you know, that sort of thing. All right, binges, bingos. You are on my last nerve, and you are out of here, buddy. Yeah. Well, you got to put the kids in timeout, you know, and then eventually they tire themselves out. So the white eyes, let's just assume that that's tapetum lucidum, right? And that would mean that if a human lived in a cave system long enough to develop night vision, they would have tapetum lucidum in their eyes, and it would show up on camera. Yeah, I agree, Lynn. I don't know what that was about. I am following your story, Mr. Midwest. I mean, it's true though, right? I mean, it like our other generations, I mean, they've seen things, you know. It's like you know, I've always said, I was like, you know, even if you can dismiss the hundreds of videos and the thousands of pictures and the tens of thousands of footprints, I mean, can we really dismiss the hundreds of thousands of stories from our elders? Um, you know, Henry Hudson and Leif Erikson, and I mean the 400-year-old Tibetan monks. I mean, they all talk about these creatures. And let's just be honest, you know, people want proof, but we don't treat history that way. You know, we read history out of storybooks, and we take it as true now. Truth now, whether it is or not, you know, it's up to you to decide. But stories are where we get our truth. That's where we get our history from, you know? Was anybody not here last week for this picture? This guy gave me this picture last week, and I asked him if I could use it in the live feed. He said yes. He stepped outside of his house and took a picture of these like 6 Apache helicopters, and they were in pursuit. Let me get a better shot of this thing. Of that thing. Yeah, me too, Pam. There's 3 of them actually. There's 3 pictures. This is a different one. You can still see the helicopters. Now the orb is down here. Why are 6 Apache helicopters chasing a weather balloon? And that orb does not show up as well as I would like to. I'd like it to. It's over here. I mean, like when I'm looking at it with just my eyes, it's like bright green. But here it's it fades away really quickly, but there it is right there. Gotcha, Connor. Yeah, Lynn, I think you were probably here last week. You saw it, but it's just, I don't know. They're really interesting. This guy, I think his name is, off the top of my head, like Daryl Davis or something like that. David Davis? No, something like that. But I talked to him a couple weeks ago about using these pictures, and he was cool with it. So they're fascinating. He lives in Kentucky, I think, and he said he just heard helicopters. So, of course, first thing you do is run outside and see why there's a helicopter in the sky, right? So he starts taking pictures, and he said these, it's kind of hard to tell, but he said these are military helicopters. Which, I mean, flying in a pack like that, of course, they got to be military, right? There's 5 of them. And he said this thing was just completely like outmaneuvering them, It was over here, it was over there, it was here, and they just couldn't keep up. Well, there was a guy it was on Joe Rogan I don't know, a couple weeks ago that was talking. He was like a, decommissioned pilot, and he was talking about how they were on radar. They were following this thing that was like, I don't know, it was doing these paces, you know, like off the coast. And they said it was making these patterns. And they couldn't catch it. Like when they would get up to where it was supposed to be on the radar, it wasn't there. Yeah, this is that picture we were talking about last week. In fact, I did a video on this. This guy. Please don't ask me to remember his name because I don't. But this is supposedly Geisha, the Russian Bigfoot that drives a car and a tractor, by the way. This is the tractor. You can see him in there if you look. He's right there. My favorite thing about this Bigfoot is that he's managed to not only dread but bleach his hair and his mustache. The sad thing about it, this guy is really respected in the Bigfoot community. Like, oh God, I can't remember his name. He's the Russian guy. But I mean, he's been around, you know, for a long time. He really did some things in the community, and then he comes out with this garbage, and I'm like, man, like nobody can take you seriously anymore. Connor, right? He looks like the Colonel. He does. Igor, that's his name. Thank you. You don't have a problem with that, really? So you think that's a real Sasquatch, huh? I don't... Oh, of course. There's the guy right there. Sorry. Igor Burtsev. That's his name. Oh, here he is. This is him in the car. And I don't know, I have a problem with his hands. It looks like they're just so furry, you know? I don't know. The best part of this whole thing was the conversation that he had. First of all, he claimed that this was one of the creatures, and I don't think that this is going to give it justice how terrible this picture really is. But I mean, that's a guy That's a guy wearing a hat and maybe like a backpack or something. But he claimed that this is one of the Bigfoot creatures. And then of course this is the blonde-haired wonder. I just, after reading, yeah, exactly, this is Fabio Bigfoot. After reading the conversation between him and his lady friend, I can't remember her name, but she had this whole long conversation about how she was going to buy a flatbed semi that Geisha, the Bigfoot, could drive so it could carry his like metal. He had like a metal house, like a tent or like a pop-up house or something like that he did his research from, like a cabin. And she was gonna teach this. They were gonna teach this thing to drive the semi so it could haul this. I mean, this is a real conversation. And as I'm reading this, I'm like, man, like, you people have really lost your minds. Like, I don't understand how this even happens between two people. But anyway, that's enough about Mr. Burtsev. By the way, if you guys haven't checked out our sister channel, Cryptic Input, please do. If you are a fan of dark paranormal and dark crime, we're doing a little something different over there than this channel. So we have, I don't know, 5 or 6 videos now. Go over there, drop a subscribe. We would appreciate it. It would help us out. We want to build that channel up like this one. You know what gets me, Mr. Midwest? I like to know how they fit that Bigfoot in that car. I mean, it wasn't a big car, I mean, these creatures are 8 foot tall. You mean to tell me he can fit in that tiny little car? Thank you, Lynn. I appreciate that. We have a few interesting stories over there. We have a story about Flight 401, the haunted Flight 401, crashed in the Everglades, and all the parts that they salvaged from the wreck they put into other planes, and the other planes had experiences, ghostly experiences they couldn't explain. We have a story about an axe murder that happened in the Florida Everglades, Green Swamp. Green Swamp, I'm sorry, not the Everglades. We have a story about a girl that was supposedly abducted by a Bigfoot. A few good stories over there. Like I said, about 4 or 5 videos. We're working on it. so you can hardly fit, yeah, but But we can get a Sasquatch in there for sure. This picture looks terrible on film. I believe you, buddy. I believe you. I don't know if you guys have seen that new film that just came out. It's about, I don't know, 15 seconds maybe of a creature walking right past a guy holding a camera, and it's not like a trail cam. You can tell the camera's moving. The creature walks just right by him, and you can see, much like this creature here, you can see the leg folds in the suit, and you can see the suit kind of swing when the guy is walking. It always kills me. I'm like, if you're trying to do a hoax, or whatever you're trying to do, trying to make a film, I don't know what you're trying to do, but you would think that you would consider stuff like that. Like, or at least watch your film afterwards and go, oh yeah, that doesn't look good. Yeah, but if you look at this picture, you look right here. You're gonna see the leg folds on this guy. This is a ghillie suit. And I remember when this picture came out, it was all the talk, man. This guy had caught a picture of this guy in his campsite, and then he went and stood beside the tree and took a comparative photo, and it was showing how tall this guy was. He was kind of tall. But afterwards, like I said, you look at it, I'm like, okay, but these are leg folds. This suit is too big for this man. So it's, yeah, it's fairly simple. That kind of thing pisses me off. I'm like, so it's just blatant dishonesty, blatant you're trying to fool the public, This just screams feral human to me. This is like, you want to talk about rake? I think this is what a rake looks like during the day. Yeah, it's stuff like that, Lynn, and it's guys like NVTV. They pollute the well. You know what I'm saying? It's like they mix reality and falsities, and they mix it to the point where it's hard to tell which is which, and they do that shit on purpose. to gain more views and likes and clicks and all that stuff, you know. Yeah, well, that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. I mean, we all want to make money, you know. I like making money myself, but I won't lie to do it. I won't make myself look foolish, you know. Yeah, he does look like he has a small tail, actually. Yeah, I mean, if I'm posting a video of something that I feel is not real, it's because I'm here to tell you that I feel it's not real. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not just gonna post it and like, oh well, you guys can figure it out. You know, like whatever. I mean, everyone's gonna have their own opinion, but I'm gonna preface it somehow and say like, well, I think this is fake and this is why, but. I have no idea what that thing is or why it would have a tail, frankly. Excuse me, guys. Beer run. I have to get a cooler. I cannot wait for the summer to be over. What kind of beer? Well, it all depends, Lynn, frankly. I like craft beers, and I think if you guys have been on the channel long at all, you know I've got a ton of Sasquatch beers. I have Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Yeti, Loch Ness Monster, you name it. Any kind of cryptid beer I can get my hands on, I've got it. Well, but just, you know, regular basis, every day, I like to drink Coors Light, you know. I'm old, man. Like, I could keep it light, you know. I don't like to drink the big, heavy beers. I have a triple IPA that I've been so scared to drink. Like, man, I don't want to get into that one, man. That's going to be... Like, I drink... I got the... oh, God, what's the double IPA? The Skunk Ape. The Florida Skunk Ape beer. I got one of those, man, and I mean, I took a few sips of it, my ears got hot. I was like, oh man, I'm not doing this today. Yeah, Kathy. We'll get something going. Q and I will come out with you one of these days. So I was just gonna say that, Mr. Midwest. I was like, just you focus on like doing it like Kathy does. The chances of you spotting something and taking a picture of it are extremely low. But if you have a running camera the whole time you're out there, and then go back and scan the footage, that's most likely when you'll see something. But these creatures are most likely they're not gonna show themselves to you. They're not just gonna walk out and be like, hey, so they're hiding, so you'll have to find them in the bush. So the other day I had a Great Divide Yeti, a peanut butter Yeti. That was a peanut butter stout. Man, that thing was good. I upload about 30 new photos every time we do one of these things, and I swear we go through them so fast. It's like, I think we could go through 50 photos. Yeah, I think we absolutely went through. Kathy, did you see this? Yeah, well, a new GoPro is definitely going to get you there, dude. I mean, they're not cheap though, but like I have a knockoff, like a 4K GoPro. It works great, so. Are we supposed to believe that Daryl knows Elon Musk? Is that? Is that? I mean, I love Daryl. I'm not gonna bust his stones or anything, but I just, I was like, does he really know Elon Musk? Like, that's strange. Cool. I mean, good for him. It's weird. Yeah, I mean, I like Elon Musk. I don't have anything against the guy. I mean, he's a really smart guy. But I just thought it was really like super strange to see him pop up in our Bigfoot group. I was like, wow, that's weird. But maybe he likes Bigfoot. I don't know. Maybe he's a fan. I think I will tell you, I think that posting disappeared at some point. So I think that was unfortunately not a hoax on Daryl's part, but I think he was maybe fooled by somebody. Oh, Kathy, did I tell you that she she asked me to take that video down, and I guess she posted a retraction. I guess I didn't really see it. I guess she posted something. So I I did. I was a nice guy. Mr. Midwest, have you like considered like checking your I know you're not a big Facebooker, but you check your Facebook Marketplace. You know, you'll always get good deals. You know, it's like somebody bought a GoPro and thought they would use it, and they've never used it. So now instead of $400, it's $150 or whatever. Well, there you go. So, sell all the crap in your garage and then go get yourself a GoPro. See? We're solving problems around here. Kathy, I would love to see a screenshot of that if you have it. Yeah, there was apologies and admittance of overreaction and things like that. So it's gonna let bygones be bygones and move forward. Alright, this is me shamelessly plugging my merchandise store. And I do mean shamelessly, so. This one's interesting. Nathan Golick. See, this is the same thing he's talking about. He's got the video on his right shoulder, 4 o'clock position, and this is going to be a still of that, because you're just not going to catch them any other way. Thank you, Kathy. I appreciate that. I'll check it out after the live, which should have ended already, by the way, guys. I'm just, I don't know, having a good time. So, all right, Connor, thanks for coming by, dude. Hopefully see you in 2 weeks. We'll do this every other Friday as usual. Lynn, always a pleasure, man. Oh, Kathy, this is one of Rebecca's. Well, we appreciate you being here when you can be here, dude. I mean, we're, like I said, we do this thing every couple weeks, so things might be changing for me in the near future, where these are more sporadic. Like, I try to do them I don't try. We've always done them every Friday night. Every other Friday night. But it might be, I don't know. It might not be Friday. We'll see. But we're gonna, we'll keep doing them anyway. So. Yeah, this one's wild, Kathy. I don't think I recall seeing this one. But I mean, look right here. You get this big body mass coming up and around the head. And then you've got the eyes and the nose right there. And I love, this is my favorite part. This is how I tell whether these things are real or not. Or Peridolia. You have that differential between where the skin on the forehead meets the hair. It's a very cool picture. I mean, I know I've seen it before, but I don't recall it. Man, she got in close on that one. Wow. No. His chest would be in this area right here. And dude, understand that the picture that I'm looking at and the picture that you're seeing are two different things due to the quality of this setup. I've explained a few times, but it's super frustrating. YouTube does not offer a way to post pictures or videos during a live stream. So I have had to MacGyver this sort of rig here to where my phone that it's recording live is recording my Chromebook over here that has the pictures on it, and it just, let's just say that things get lost in translation. I always think it's funny. We'll get to this point in the night where it's almost 11 o'clock, you know, and we're like the last 3 or 4 stragglers left in the bar, you know, and then I'll be shutting it down, and 10 people will show up ready to party, you know, but you're on your way home. You already called an Uber, you know, you're out of here. This is one of your people, Kathy. Or no. Sorry, this is one of Daryl's group, Robin Haynes McCrae. It's definitely interesting. I mean, it's something, you know, and that's the thing. It's like when photos come from people like this that are just regular people taking photos out in their backyard or whatever. I mean, yeah. Is she? It's a heck of a picture. And that's what I love about like sort of knowing who these people are. Because it's a lot harder to hoax somebody, you know, like when you know who they are, you know. It's just an interesting picture. I have never gotten to the. I know your group is larger than mine, Daryl too, but I've never got to the point where I felt that I needed to instill mods. You know, Q and I pretty well do all the work on that. I mean, our group. I did set it up to where though that I have alert words. So if anybody uses certain words in my group, I get an alert before it posts. And I did that to avoid all political BS and, you know, strong cursing and things like that. So having those guidelines kind of helps, you know. So I never really felt the need to get a mod involved, but I mean, we're getting into the 4,000 area, like 10,000 on the blog, but 4,000 on the group. And I feel that one of these days I'll probably have to get someone else involved, but oh, tell me about it. I mean, just when this thing happened with Rick, you know, I happened to be up when he posted it. Rick's he's a night owl, right? Like he's one of those up all night kind of guys. And I'm not. Like I gotta work in the morning. So when he posted that, he got some bad blowback, you know, and I started realizing, you know, it's like, because you don't know who people are until they start talking. You know, you can accept them in your group and be like, oh, welcome to the group. But then it's like, and you can make your rules be known, but until they start saying stuff, that's when you know who they are. And these people, there was like 3 people that kind of went at Rick pretty hard, like kind of attacked. And I immediately just deleted their comments and banned them from the group immediately. But then I think Rick had already seen the stuff that they posted before I got there. And then the last one was, well, it was the last one, the last straw for him. He just had enough. So unfortunately, I don't know. A situation like that, it's like, doesn't really matter how many mods you have. It's like, if it's 2 o'clock in the morning, you just, you might not catch it. You know what I'm saying? Well, there's no accountability on the internet. You know, it's like you can just be an asshole and say whatever you want. You know, and that's generally how it goes. You know. Monty, welcome, sir. Welcome. Well, Monty, a good example of that would be Mothman, you know, and I personally feel that Mothman was a government project gone awry, and that it took them, I think Mothman was a thing for about 16 months. And I think it took them that long to quietly capture Mothman and probably dispatch. Frankly, I don't know. Maybe they took him to some underground bunker and, you know, and whatever. But anyway, near Point Pleasant, West Virginia, there is an underground bunker, and a lot of people believe that that is where they created the Mothman. Adventure Monty, you look so nice with your font and your little star, and that's because you're a member of the channel. In fact, you're the first member. So I appreciate that from you. I appreciate the support. Thank you. Yeah, but you know, the Mothman, it had a lot of reports, you know, in that small period of time, and the reports wouldn't have just dried up like that. Like, the reports would have kept going, and maybe they would have lost steam at some point, but they wouldn't have just stopped. When something is lore, it's lore for a long time. That was only 16 months. Like, this thing just appeared and then disappeared like it never existed. Oh, thank you, sir. I appreciate you. And let's see. Might be getting a new video out tomorrow. That's certainly the hopes. Today I was unfortunately dealing with a lot of stuff that I shouldn't have been dealing with, you know, involving the channel, and it took up a lot of my time this morning. So unfortunately, when I should have been creating content, I was putting out fires. But so hopefully tomorrow we'll get something new coming out. So it's funny, people ask me all the time. They're like, "Well, is there any Bigfoots in my state?" And like, so there. I don't think there's really many states where there aren't reported Bigfoot sightings. You'll probably find less in areas like Arizona, Nevada, desert areas where there's no forestry, that sort of thing. You're going to find less. But there are Bigfoot in pretty well every state. If I had to speculate, which is what I'm doing now, I would speculate 3,000 to 5,000 population in the United States, not North America, in the United States. North America is too big of a number for me to calculate, but if you get them into Canada, who knows? But in the United States, I don't think 5,000 is outside the realm of possibility at all. So as far as the Midwest itself, I think if you get into parts of Illinois, Indiana, certainly moving further west like Nebraska, you're going to find Sasquatch in those wooded areas. As a matter of fact, Mr. Midwest, come to think of it, you're from Indiana. I am part of a group on Facebook that is specific to Indiana, that has an Indiana, they have an Indiana Bigfoot group. You should go join that group. Yeah, Ohio, they refer to their Bigfoot as the grass man, but it's kind of the same idea. Yeah, Monty, please send that over. You know the email address, bigfootinput.com. I would be glad to read it for you. Glad to proofread it. I would agree with that, Mr. Midwest. And as a matter of fact, we need to think about subterranean travel as well. People talk about portals and all this kind of stuff. I don't get into that. That's fine, but I think more about like subterranean travel, like cave travel. I think there's so many unexplored cave systems that we have no idea what's going on down there. Like literally right under our feet, and we just don't know. Yeah, there's so many stories about like Sasquatches just popping out like in the middle of a river. Just all of a sudden they just surface. I think that there's cave systems, flooded cave systems that they're swimming through, and cave systems that they're maneuvering. Yeah, we can go back to that discussion too. I did a video on it. I don't know if you saw it or not. But we can totally roll back to that discussion. There we go. There is the the Myaka Skunk Ape. And right here is what we're assuming to be another set of eyes that's catching a red reflection That's a good question. What's the average human coverage on uneven terrain? Like 5 or 6 miles? I mean, I'm thinking if they're on the surface, a Sasquatch has probably got to be more like 10. You know, I mean, they just the long strides and strong leg muscles and stuff like that. But like cave systems, I don't think that they could travel as quickly in a cave system, but certainly more undetected. They could go anywhere they wanted to. Yeah, man, this is wild. I just I couldn't believe it. I was like, you got to be kidding me! As many years as we have looked at this photo, many times we've seen these photos. I think these photos came out in '08. I mean, they've been around for a minute, you know, 15 years. 2002, maybe so. God, it's even longer. It's close to 20 years. There's our guy. I kind of just wish that everyone looks at this picture and kind of I don't know. They think it's demented or kind of evil looking, but with primate behavior, this creature he's rolling his gums back. He's rolling his lips back to expose his gums. And that's a sign of submission. You know, this guy does not want any trouble. That's not why he's there. He's there to pilfer food off of her porch. And I think he got busted. That's all it is. $50 miles a day, really? Wow. That's, yeah. I mean, they're pretty quick, though. Oh, yeah, I wanted to mention this. Actually, I had forgotten, and then it occurred to me. Mr. Midwest, if you go back on our channel, like almost back, maybe the very first video, actually, all the way back, you're going to find a segment that we used to do called Bigfoot and Booze. And I think we've only done like 2 or 3 of them. They didn't have much interest, frankly. But the very first story we did was from a guy who still has not given me permission to use his name. But we did a story about a guy who had an encounter with a very aggressive Sasquatch in Indiana. And if I looked back at my records, I could probably I could find out what county it's in. But it's a good story. You should go check it out. And it's right there, probably in your area. Yeah, no, he didn't mean any harm. Like I said, I think he was stealing apples, if my memory serves me right. Someone said apple pie. I'm like, that doesn't sound right to me. That sounds more, that's an old thing to do. Like you put your apple pies out to cool. I don't think that's what he was doing. I think it was apples. I don't know why she had apples on her porch, but she did. Yeah, I cannot remember which county it is, but I'm telling you, I have the conversation between me and that guy, and he told me what county it was in. I'll tell you what, I'll tell you, I'll make you a deal. I'll include that in the email that I told you that I would send earlier. Yeah, I like that Bigfoot and booze segment, but it just, I don't know, it just didn't gain enough traction. It was like we did that story, we did a story. Monty, you were saying that you hope you encounter a patty and not a skunk ape. We did a story about a guy who was literally like 5 minutes from my house, my old house, in the Ocala National Forest. That he encountered a skunk ape. His car got stuck in the sand. He encountered a skunk ape there, and it wasn't a violent encounter, but it was an aggressive encounter. It was enough to be scared. I would have been terrified. It's an interesting question, Monty. I bet you Texas has tons of activity that you rarely hear about, like Texas, Texlahoma, that area. But I bet they have that distinctive crossover between like Mississippi, New Orleans, where you're gonna find skunk apes, versus where they start to get they have to get bigger as the terrain changes. So like as you go north from I'm thinking from where I am, like as you go north, you get up into South Georgia to North Georgia, you're going to see differences there. Because that's mountainous, North Georgia is mountainous terrain, big mountainous terrain. So that might be a good candidate too, would be Georgia. Once you get up into Pennsylvania, that area, then they're back up into a larger size, But I would think Texas would be a great like moving spot. Like I said, once you get into like Texas, you go into Arkansas, then you're talking about the I can never pronounce that word right. What is that? The Mogollon monster? That's just a Bigfoot. That's all that is, Rocky Mountains. How far? I don't know how far south that goes. I mean, I know it goes through Colorado. I really don't know how far down that goes. I think this is one of the only legitimate trail cam pictures of a Bigfoot. I think about that a lot too. I'm like, so for every Bigfoot that you see, how many do you not see? You know? Yeah, Monty, I reached out to Trapper Mike. I don't know if you ever heard of him. He's a big Florida guy. He's out there like fighting the python invasion that we're having. And I reached out to him. I'm waiting to hear a response from him. I'm like, I'd asked him if he'd ever seen a skunk ape. So I'm hoping that he responds. You know, that's a good question, Monty. I mean, I think some of that rings true, as in like if you're more willing to accept what you're seeing and understand, and you know, maybe you would be more apt to see it. You know, like for instance, you see it all the time in the Bigfoot groups. It's like you'll see a picture that's a little obscured, you know, but you might be able to make it out, and then like other people are like, no, that's just nothing but trees. Well, it's like, see, all right, this picture right here, for example, right? Well, I can clearly see a creature here. I can see behind these bushes. I can see its shoulders. I can see its head. I can see its face. But some people might just look at this and go, no, it's just trees. So I think like if you're more willing to accept what you're seeing and be more in tune, then you would see more. I'm not gonna. I could go into a diatribe about that. I'm not gonna do that though. But like for instance, like Kathy Westerman. I don't know if she's still in the room. I think she is, but she's one of these people that has somehow become in tune with these creatures. And I'll tell you a weird story. You know, she started out walking in the woods, taking pictures of tree structures, and then she caught a glimpse of the creature in the picture. We all know that story, right? So then she's out there. Now, she's going out. She drives away from her home to go out into the woods to go to these places. So she sees these creatures, and she has them all on video, and she's got tons of proof, right? But then, hi, Kathy, she's still here. So, but then one of the better pictures... one of the better pictures that she has was taken in her backyard. So I'm like, how weird is that once she goes out into these areas and starts interacting with these creatures, now all of a sudden she's getting them in her backyard. She's getting whistles, tree knocks, and straight up pictures from her backyard. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to stick around too much longer, Mr. Midwest. We've been doing this for 3 hours now, and, well, I don't think I'll be around much longer, but I would like to find, real quick, I know you guys have already seen it, but I'd like to find the picture from Kathy's backyard if I can. I think I just showcased it like maybe 2 weeks ago. No, that's James. That's, too many pictures. That's what it is. There's that picture. Obviously, we all know that picture, so. It's not the one I'm looking for. This is one of Kathy's too. This is still not the one I'm looking for. Well, you know, and that's the thing, Monty. It's like, were they there and unnoticed? Or did she somehow project an energy that made them follow her? I can't answer that. I literally just have no clue. It's fascinating, but I don't know. I'm questioning myself now whether I send this picture over here or not, but I'm... Oh yeah, there it is. There it is, Kathy. That's the one right there. This guy... No. No, that's James's picture. Damn it. Well, one day I'm gonna get my life together and I'm gonna make a go of this, but until then I'll just continue to be lost and fumbling around looking for these pictures, I guess. Alright, I'm not gonna make you guys watch me search around for these pictures, but but anyway. So yeah, so she like was able to start actually capturing these pictures and stuff like that from her backyard, which, if I'm not mistaken, had never happened until she started encountering these creatures elsewhere. So to me, that's baffling. I'm like, what did they follow her home? I mean, I just don't understand. Or if it's something within us that allows us to see and perceive them that changes. Do we change? Oh, yeah, you know, Mr. Midwest, I've been throwing this channel together with spit and glue from the beginning, so, you know, that's never, I don't think that's ever going to change. That brings up a whole other question, is like, do they need to feel like welcome? I don't know, man. There's so many unanswered questions. I would tell you something. I don't know what just reminded me of this, so forgive me for being random, but if you guys like audiobooks, there's a book, and it's on, you can get it on like Kindle, but it's called Bigfoot Encounters in Yellowstone Park. I'm gonna tell you something. It's about 6 stories, maybe more than that, maybe 6, maybe 8 stories, all about Yellowstone and encounters that happen there. And I'm telling you, that book is absolutely fantastic to listen to. The stories are fascinating. Well, think about it this way, right? I mean, I do like to think of Bigfoot as a flesh and blood creature, but again, I try to stay open. But there are some people that can see other paranormal, supernatural type of things. I don't like to use the word ghosts. That sort of puts you in a weird category, but yeah, like manifestations, apparitions, whatever you want to call it. There's some people that can see that. There's some people that can't. So I think all of us are in tune with different energies, different frequencies. And depending on what your frequency is, that's what you're seeing. I think you have to think of it too as like, what senses do they have that we don't? You know, like we have five senses, but we have no clue what the other senses are or who has what. I wish I could tell you, Monty. You came in a little late on this live. We were going through these pictures earlier, and I had questions about this picture. It's obviously a large creature reaching out to yoke this little man. And I had made the observation that maybe his head was solidly colored because it was still because it was being choked by this Bigfoot, whereas his body is translucent because it was in motion because he was trying to get the hell out of there. But if this picture is real, is this guy still alive? Probably not. Is the guy that took the picture still alive? How did we get this picture? I have more questions than answers. Yeah, okay, Mr. Midwest. So there's a video. My God, I'd have to dig so far back on the blog to find it. I wouldn't even know. It'd probably be easier to re-find it. There's a picture of a Sasquatch hand, and it's sort of doing this dancing motion, kind of like this. You know, it's just sort of moving around, and it's doing that in front of an infrared camera. So the theory there is that it can see the infrared lights. Like I said, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't even know how to direct you to see that video. I mean, I have to go so far back on the blog. But it's a cool video. Yeah, I know. I like this picture. I don't know what to think about it. I think this poor guy's dead if it's real. You know? I think his buddy's dead too, the guy that took the picture. Since you're here, Monty, I'm gonna show you this picture real quick. I know I've already whipped it out like 4 times, but I gotta do it again. So, Monty, do you know who this guy is? This is Les Stroud, Survivor Man, and this is his episode in Romania. And a friend of ours, friend of the channel, Rick, posted this and showed this guy in the background over his shoulder. Yeah, it is all about frequencies, dude. Like, seriously. I mean, that's what Nikolai Tesla tried to teach us before he was, killed. But it's all about frequencies. And you're right. Animals, especially animals that have taped and lucidum, they can see different things than we can, for sure. And that's like cats and owls and deer and all sorts of different animals. So Bigfoots, for sure, they can see things that we can't see. Yeah, so anyway, I'm not 100% sure on what this is, but it's interesting. Definitely. It's a prerequisite to be on this live. Especially this late. Yeah, I think you got to be drunk, right? But I honestly, I'm not going to have the conversation, but I am going to just go ahead and plant the seed in your mind. But I have a deep-seated theory about life, about synchronicity and sequencing and things like that. And just the fact that, I mentioned Tesla, and Tesla is a Serb, the same as your grandmother, who we already spoke about. And life is very tied together in a weird way that we don't quite grasp. And you probably would get a lot closer to grasping that with quantum physics, which is a whole other subject, and that's why I don't want to talk about it, because it's hours long. It's just such a long subject. But yeah, if you ever feel, again, I'm going to fall back on an audio book that you should check out. If you ever feel like listening to a book called The Field, it's about a 12 to 14 hour long audio book. It is some of the most fascinating shit you'll ever hear in your entire life. Just mind-blowing stuff that you had no clue. And this is not an opinion. This is not someone's opinion. This is all based on scientific study that has fallen through the cracks of time. It is mind-blowing. I don't know if you can hear that, but that's the end of my drink. Yeah, she knew because she had seen them before, right? It wasn't strange to her. I get that, Monty, the thing about it is that there's coincidences like, oh, so it's cute, what a coincidence. And then there's coincidences that are like, whoa. And I've experienced so many of those, especially in the last few years, just freaky coincidences that really just make you wonder. But then having listened to the book that I'm telling you about, The Field, it all kind of made more sense at that point. I was like, oh yeah, so it's just, everything is connected, but it goes deeper than that. There was a lot of experiments about mind control and how you can actually, control things with your mind, and stuff like that. And that's really what quantum physics is all about. It's we've accepted Newtonian physics as, the end all, and Einstein physics, but there's a whole other world out there of quantum physics that we don't talk about. You got a Serbian grandmother too? Holy shit. Wow. Thanks. Anymore? Isn't that like super bizarre though? Like seriously, like both of you guys are just here at the same time, the same moment, and you both had a Serbian grandmother? I mean, this is the kind of shit that I'm talking about. It's just so strange. I don't even know where Serbia is. you're probably a little further down the chain than I am, Monty. I've really been experiencing this for like the last few years, maybe 2 years, and I'm just not used to it yet. It just, every time it happens, it blows my mind. I'm like, wow, man, like, you know, the impossible just happening right in front of your face. You know what I just learned recently, since we're talking about like the Middle East? I just learned that all of the Stan countries like Pakistan and Turkestan, like different countries, they were all named after the clans that lived there. Like that was their land, that was their stand. So like Afghanistan, it was the Afghanis' stand. You know? And I was like, I learned that recently. I was like, whoa. I thought that was so cool. There's like 12 of them over there. And it's like they all end in stand. I never thought about it before. Like, yeah, I guess so. But like Pakistan, like that's where the Pakis stand. Yeah, I do feel that I have dabbled in something inadvertently that I can't change now. And I don't know that I would, but it is what it is now. It's kind of like there was this guy that said recently, he goes, the rules are that once you put the glasses on, you can never take them off. And I was like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense now. I get it. I'm gonna mispronounce your name as Rimar or Remar, Rimar. I have never physically seen a Sasquatch. Not yet. What inspired my channel was that I had such a deep-seated interest in Bigfoot that I had so many pictures on my phone that I told my girl Q, I was like, you know, I want to put these in an album on Facebook and get them off my phone, and then if people want to see them, they can see them, you know, if not, whatever, but at least they'll be off my phone. Sorry if you guys can hear the train. It's like 5 feet from my house. She said, why don't you start a blog? And I said, what the hell do I know about blogging? And she's like, what the hell is there to know? You just blog. And I did. And that was some years ago. That was like, I don't know, 4 years ago. And I have like over 10,000 followers now on the Facebook blog. And we have a Facebook group. And now I started a YouTube a year ago. Almost a year ago. We're not quite a year old yet. And that's basically it. It was really just my interest and her support that has driven the whole thing. Monty, I know that you caught the tail end of that earlier. I just, yeah, you're right. And I read this thing a while back that said, if you don't have any haters, then you're not doing anything. And I feel that that's true. I honestly feel that if you don't make any waves, if you don't do anything, no one hates on you. But if you're making moves and you're doing something, you're always gonna have someone that hates on you. So that's fine. It is what it is, bro. We're gonna keep on with the keeping on. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not worried. Kathy's not worried. You know, we're we're good. You know, it's gonna be fine. Oh, Kanye. God, that poor guy. Crazy as hell. Yeah, we're not sweating it, bro. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna take everything as it comes. The only problem with what happened earlier was that the channel via Facebook or YouTube came under genuine fire. Like it was physically in trouble of being falsely reported and stuff like that. So that's where we had an issue that we had to squash. You know, it was like if it was just like some talk, I wouldn't give a shit, bro. I really wouldn't care if it was just talk. But it was the physical ramifications of what could go on because of a stupid misunderstanding. So we had to just deal with it. Hey man, get to work, bro. And like I said, anytime you want to send that to me for proofreading, I would be honored. I'll be glad to do it for you. No problem. Mr. Midwest, man. Yeah, man. I mean, I'll go subscribe, bro. Like I'll be your subscriber. I'll listen. I'll throw that hate out there that you need. It's true, Monty. It's true. The world cares about the Kardashians and the Trumps of the world. They don't care about the important things, the things that people don't talk about, you know, and it's crazy to me, you know. But that being said, I just finished my Coors Light, so I'm gonna call it a night, y'all. We've been going at this way too long. It's midnight, so. Yeah, I appreciate you guys coming by. I appreciate you sticking it out. Mr. Midwest, I know you got things going on. We'll see you when we see you, bro. We'll be here. So next time you can drop by, you know. I know you do, Kathy. You know, like I said, I mean, we all do. It's like if you're making any moves at all, somebody's got to hate on you. Somebody. I know who your haters are. I remember the story, but we're not worried. You know, we'll get through it. So, all right, y'all. As always, this is J Mac, and I'm out. Keep squatching.